Welcome to Albion TV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Wednesday, the 1st of December, 2021. I am your host, the Shozen One, and today I am joined by my co-host, the great, the powerful, the Bogul.
Hello, hello. It's I'm not on the screen, Shozen. I'm actually on a stalking mission. I'm observing Mr. Rigdalot in the background here.
Does he know?
Yes, he knows. He
Okay,
told me it's okay. I told him like 3 times. Are you sure we can broadcast this? This is live. And he's like, yeah. We're good. We're fine. So shout out to the Mighty Frogs, which is the guild that Rigdalot is the GM of, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Rigdalot is the individual I interviewed last night, and we will be airing that interview in just a few moments. He has been a player in Albion for as long as I can remember, and he has been part of some very interesting bits of history. So I thought it'd be a lot of fun to interview him and talk about his guild, the Mighty Frogs. Bogul and I have been fans of the Mighty Frogs since we saw them way back in the, I think, Anglia days
Oh,
when their
yeah.
first flags showed up on the map of Albion.
A long time ago. Yeah. I remember partially at least. And it's always good to see some names that you're familiar with to come back onto the scene stronger than ever, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I can't wait. I haven't listened to the interview yet, so I guess we should mention, however, that there will be a raffle during the show. Is that right?
Yeah, there is a raffle. Go ahead and type !raffle into the chat. That will enter you into the raffle. And if your name is pulled, it will show up in chat. Then go ahead and whisper me, Shozen, and I will get a hold of you through the Twitch messaging thing if you whisper me. I'll get back to you and send you a gold code in the next day.
Nice. Don't worry if your message gets deleted. The bot does that so we can keep the chat a little bit cleaner. And with that said, I don't have any last minute things to announce today other than have fun listening to Mr. Rigdalot. Good luck on the Gold Code raffle. And we will be back with more news on Friday and a newbie show tomorrow. All right. Anything from you, Shozen? Or
Well, I guess we should say that tomorrow's newbie show we will be joined by Big Lips McGee. I'm very interested in that one of the great YouTube content creators here in the world of Albion. He'll be joining us for some live action. That'll be fun. So if you're a new player and you want to learn about Albion PvP, tomorrow is a good show for you to watch as well. And yeah, we'll be back again on Friday with more Albion news with the AO Daily Show. So enjoy your interview and talk to you soon. Welcome to the Albion TV interview series. I am the Shozen One, and today I am joined by Rigdalot, the GM of the Mighty Frogs. He's been around for quite a while, and we've been watching the Mighty Frogs for, geez, it feels like forever. And when I was talking to him earlier, he was like, yeah, right around free to play. So I figure we can start with some early history, Rigdalot. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are as a player? And then maybe we'll move into the history of the Mighty Frogs.
Sure. I mean, I've been playing Albion since the alphas. Been one of the legendary founder, and maybe one of the guy that knows Mojo before the Great Mojo era. So I've been playing against Mojo and Derek when they used to play in the same guild back in Alpha and in betas. And
Red Army, yeah. Yeah, you probably played against me then as well. I've been in since Alpha as well. Yeah, Vendetta, and then a bit of the Zorn in Conflict.
The guild I was playing with back in the days was named Nox Noctis. And
okay, I remember that.
It was a small French Canadian community back then. Unfortunately, most of their core members don't play anymore, but still had a good time with them back in the days. A lot of our core players. So I've played with Money Guild. I'd say early when the game released.
Were you in Money Guild at release?
I wasn't in Money Guild at release. I started off with a guild named Metatron before.
Okay, I remember Metatron. Yep.
Yeah.
Say my
before it was called
Metatron afterwards.
exactly.
Yep.
And so at some point we left Metatron and joined Ruben in Just a Game.
Okay.
And we had like a French, community inside Just a Game. Just a Game was always ran by Ruben with like multiple communities, like Italian community, French community, etc., Turkish, etc. For a while there, I was right hand and led the French community inside Just a Game.
Okay.
When Ruben quit the game or close to quitting the game, I joined Money Guild and played with Money Guild for a few months there, where I met a lot of people, had a lot of fun. And then the season started. When the season started, I left Money Guild, made my own project, which like the very first project was named Coureur des Bois, French Canadian name. That was a good part because we were just a bunch of randoms, gankers playing in around Gravelight March, and we had a good time. Like I can't even remember one time where we stole one Terry from Gullerby and Derek. I think the Millennium guys were dropping the Terry in, I think it was Lindale or something like that, and dropping the Terry to Derek, to Money Guild, and we happened to be ganking nearby, and that was the time where Money Guild had all the real estate in Mercia, right? So
everything except for that one top corner on the left that they could never take from 1PG. Yeah,
exact. So we managed to get that Terry, and then you see that weird flag on the map. Next thing we do is like, hey, what if we try to sell this territory? So we speak over to Sun, because back in the days we don't really know anybody, and all we know is that Sun has a lot of GVG potential because they own like 40 territories all over the map.
They owned almost all of Anglia at the time. They were like, it was Sun just stretched across the earth.
Exactly. So I reach out to Lupac, and I'm like, hey, but are you interested in maybe buying this Mercia territory from us? And he's like, what are you doing with this territory anyway? so we sell the territory for like 20 million, which is almost nothing, but for us back in the days was like, oh my god, boys, we made a fortune with this. So we sell the territory to Lupac, and that was like the Sun breach in Mercia around season 1. Good times. And then after Coureur des Bois, we wanted to scale into an international guild because it was really hard to muster a lot of French Canadian. There was a limit to the number of players we could get to play with us.
Yeah, well, the French Canadian community, even in French Canada, isn't that big.
Exactly. So it's
they're just a few million people, right?
I mean, 6 or 7 million. I'm not quite sure about the number, but
okay. I'm sorry, I underestimated you guys a little bit. All right. There's twice as many.
Yeah. Yeah, we're a tiny part of Canada. But anyway, back in the days, we had like maybe 30 people in the guild, right? And then it was kind of hard on recruitment because we were aiming at French people mostly, and there was a lot of big French guild out there that was just better at everything that we done. So there wasn't too many incentives to come play with Coureur des Bois, right? So we figured like, okay, we're gonna start a new project, and we're gonna go international, and this is where Pocket Aces was born. Pocket Ace was a small international guild. We started off in the Royals. We fought Fleet and what was Kanto's guild name? Can't remember.
Oh, Kantos Khan?
Yeah, exactly.
Starts with a PH.
Can't remember.
Phrasing,
exactly. Phrasing. I remember fighting him a lot in GVGs and the Royals. Like, when farms were yellow zones and you like smaller guilds would lunch from yellow war camps and stuff. So that's how we started. Like we started lunching on Vakandin all the time. Fleet, Phrasing, and then trying to contest these small royal zone territories for fun. And our team back in the days wasn't really that sharp either. Like we just we did it for fun. Like just capping the territory, just capping the war camp. Sorry, it was launching the war camp was something. Like it was an achievement for the guild.
Right.
Fighting the territory and winning the territory was like another level for us. And then we won the farm a couple times. We managed to get some exposure, and then at some point there's I would say like the B team of say my Metatron.
And this is back when you're saying the B team and you're talking about taking the Terry and taking the farm plot. You're talking about in the 5v5
Yeah.
guild versus guild mechanic that used to exist for taking territories.
Yes, exactly. So I'm talking like season 2. I mean, we're like 10,
Long
12
time ago,
seasons
yeah.
later, but
Okay.
long time ago. So we scaled up quite a lot, like 150 player in Pocket Ace. We had Metatron's B team that were like a emergent team, I'd
Mhm.
say. They were getting better and better and better, winning a lot, and they decided to join us because, if I remember correctly, back in the days they didn't like really enjoy the pressure of the Cumbria and Mercia zone. And maybe you remember, but back in the days you couldn't, like, if you weren't like the A team and the strongest team, and you like the strongest team had a lot of alts and played like all the timers. So if you wanted to do GVGs, you basically had to create your own guild and do GVG, because nobody would let you GVG anyway. They didn't want
No,
to
it
lose
was
their
only
real
the
estate.
best of the best. Nobody wanted to
Exactly.
risk their territory on a new team because their team would always have to face an incredibly good team.
Exactly.
And you're right. The best teams in the game, there were probably about 3 or 4 of them that were able to create multiple alts and play at multiple timers in multiple locations around the world. You had the Sorab team, the Derek team, just some really good teams that were playing in multiple locations
Yeah.
all the time. And this is even before you had like
Gamaglia's
the
team,
June.
like
Yeah.
all these guys. Yeah. So they came to us. They say, "Hey, listen, we want a GVG. We want you. We want to play with you guys. We like the family feeling, or the small guild feeling. It's more, I guess, the warmth that we had to offer to our member. Like, there was a fun vibe in the guild that they enjoyed, they like, and we were like kind of. I was like trying to take care of them as much as they take care of us. Where maybe they didn't get that kind of I wouldn't say love, but that kind of care in a bigger guild where they're just a B team, right? So for me, they were like the gods of Pocket Ace. So they started playing for us. We managed to capture like 5 territories for the entire season, and
Mm-hmm.
ended up, I believe, in like top 40 in the rankings.
It's not bad.
And rankings was kind of hard back in the days.
Yeah, it
Like,
was.
you
It was
either
a lot
had all the
different.
points or not at all.
Yeah.
And then we joined. I mean, we've done a bunch of stuff. Evolve into eventually, like, what is Mighty Frogs today. So at some point, kind of disbanded the guild, and I joined Fricks. I think around end of season 3, maybe 4. Fricks was then playing with I think it's Power Alliance.
Yeah, Fricks was doing pretty well during the early seasons. Fricks was a big player. I
Yeah.
know we joke around with Fricks today. Fricks are still recruiting, by the way, but they were pretty effective back in the day.
Yeah. So I joined Fricks. I was playing. I loved their shot caller over there, and he was a pretty cool guy, very invested in the Albion community, and I thought he was a great guy. So I decided to join Fricks.
Vetus or GV Black? Which one?
None of the two.
Oh, you got another one here?
Yeah, I mean, my memories.
Oh no, I'm trying to give a guy a shout out, and we're like, yeah, you're great. Can't remember you. Moving on.
It's the guy who used to, like, run around with a battle mammoth all the time back in the days in Fricks. He was shot calling for them. He was pretty known
now
in the
I feel
community.
bad that I don't know which one guy.
Yeah, I just feel bad. I can't remember his name, honestly, but he was really a cool guy. I think, like, a lot of people respect him. But I joined the Power Alliance with Fricks, and then I meet Lukai Power, which will become my partner in crime number 1 for the last few years. So we play in Power for quite some time, and then at some point we grow tired of big freaking alliance playing with a lot of people, a lot of people. Back in the days, the queue stuff wasn't that much fun. It was either you get in the zone or you don't get in at all. And yeah, so he came at me one day and say, what if we, like, start our own project? And I told him, I've been trying to make the French community for quite some time, like a French Canadian community for quite some time, and it just doesn't work, man. We don't have the critical mass to do it. And he said, I don't know. I think the game is gonna be free to play. Luke is special about one thing. He's kind of foreseeing the future. it's weird. Every time he calls a shot, it ends up happening at some point. Like he's really a 5-ed. So anyway, he says, I think the game's gonna become free to play at some point, and we're gonna have a lot more people. And so we start the project, find a nice name that fits us, and start a guild. Next thing you know, maybe 2 months after we start the guild, they announce the free to play. So we're like, oh my god, this is really happening. Free to play comes, we end up like filling up the guild completely. 300 cap players with like 60, 70 people mass. And this is where we started, playing in Anglia and playing in what was the Gluvia, I think.
Glavia,
Was the
yeah.
name of
Yeah.
the uppers down. Yeah.
Gluvia and Siluria, yeah.
We start taking some territories at reset days. Around that time, we had a lot more people to play with, so like a bigger pool of players that plays GVG. So maybe a tad better team. We fought that. This I think is where Goof started playing. We were fighting Goof in U12 Academy all the time during that time. So we didn't have a lot of territories, but sure we had some. We fought like smaller teams like the Fricks teams, the Independent Ranger Corps that I remember well because we fought them quite a lot back then. And yeah, I mean that's kind of the history of where all it started
Okay.
and to where we are today. The one thing I need to tell you though is like in Canada we have like 4 months of summer per year, right?
Mhm.
So like
yeah, very little. Yeah, it's short.
every year we kind of have like the guild just becomes dead because everybody goes outside.
Oh.
Okay, so
Okay.
like the guild's super active from like end of August all the way through like May, but then like it goes kind of limp. That's when a lot of people leave. So anyway,
I think we're describing this the wrong way. Instead of saying that you have 4 months of summer, you should say that you have 8 months of winter.
yeah, maybe that's more accurate.
Yeah, I think because everybody's got 4 months of summer. It's just that you guys don't really have other seasons.
Yeah. So Mighty Frog has been like up and down maybe 4 times in the last 4 years or something like that. So we've played at like I told you earlier, we've played at the free to play release, and then we came back. We played a lot with Era 404 during the Avalonian season, and then we started Mighty Frogs again at season 8. We joined Tidal, and this is where we kind of venture more in the Black Zone more and more. Like we were playing with Tidal. Maybe that's where we got branded as rats. Like a lot of people.
Wait,
on
when
the
did you guys get? I didn't know this. Like, explain this. Who's calling you guys rats?
I think pretty much everybody on the server does. And I mean, they're not wrong in some ways. Like we do rat a lot of ZTZ, and we still do today. It's not like we're like a TikTok kind of guild.
Okay.
We're
Just not quite TikTok, but you're gonna hang out behind the battle, maybe wait for it to be over before you dismount.
Exactly. So
Okay.
we've done a lot of we have our share of ratting. I mean, everybody knows Luke in this game. I mean, that's his trademark anyway. So, but we were like in surf, pugging with a 10-man squad of bloodletters and a Zerg and like sniping kills left and right and like always shining on the battle board and doing amazing stuff. But really, it was just like 10 old players playing bloodletter inside the big title Zerg, And we scaled up during season 8. We scaled up a lot. We dropped in hideout, and I think is Longfen Arms before Arch taken over that area. Surf owned it, and we eventually lost it and disbanded again. We merged into Rang, started to play with Dell, which had a good roster, a lot of people playing with him. Like it wasn't what it is today, or what it was last season at least, but it still had a big community behind him, and we felt as a group because we're all always moving together most of the time.
Like the same core players, no matter what guild you're in, you're all kind of like going from one
We're
group
following
to another.
each other around. So we bounced from 404, came back to Mighty Frog, and then we bounced from Mighty Frog after S8 to try something bigger. We thought like, okay, let's try to be on the different side of the coin or whatever. So we merged with Rang, and this is where Luke, myself, Spicy, Benito, and a few other guys started to GVG a lot more. We did a lot of 5v5. We met Logic, which was like I'd say the missing link in our team. We always had like 4 good players, but we were lacking of like 1 melee DPS to
Somebody hit that slide.
Exactly. Somebody did hit that slide. Yes, I've heard that so many times. And yeah, we shined a lot during the Dead Giver meta.
Okay.
We had good times over there.
And how far did you guys get in the Crystal League? Because I do remember seeing you in the 5v5 scene back in the day. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
I do remember seeing you do pretty well.
We reached level 9 in season 9 with Logic, so we kind of we had a good run. I think we were not the best team on the server, but we were probably like top 5 at that time. So we did
Alright.
great.
That's not bad. I mean, that's today that would get you into the Crystal League Championship.
Maybe, yeah.
No, I think at least the last couple, yeah, for sure. If you can win a level 8, you're right up there.
Nice. I mean, it was pretty close. We almost won the level 9. Unfortunately, we lost. But the circumstance around, like, maybe a lot of people remember in the community, but we had an unfortunate event where Logic got strongbowed under the tower by.
Wait, are you talking about when he got taken down by Keeper of Nature?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So.
That was, now I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. I remember that from a very amused point of view.
So I'll give you like the feeling from the inside, okay?
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
This is how it goes. It's level 9 day. We're like a 2 months old team. We're all stressed out because this is all our first time in level 9. Like Spicy's never done that before, Luke either, and myself. It's all like new stuff for us, and we're super hyped. We're murking for Bloco de Rua back in the days, which provided the sets for level 9 about 10 minutes before the GVG starts.
And about right, yeah.
They brought 3 sets each. Not even like, not the full. Like,
yeah, not your standard chaotic. 5 to 7.
No,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
So like, we have maybe 2 starter sets with 8-3. The rest are 8-2s. All bunch of mixed stuff in one chest. They're missing a bunch of swaps and here and there and whatnot. And we decide like, okay, it's 10 minutes before the GVG. We're gonna go out on the territory with our 3 sets and YOLO. Just live the moment.
Do what you can do. Yeah, gotta go.
Exactly. So we get on the tower. There's the entire Bloco guild dancing naked around us, and then Logic's on stream like always,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming no delays. So he's dancing under the tower naked with Spicy naked next to him, and then a wild Keeper of Nature appears and make her life a nightmare. Hit that, I think it's clipped. He didn't like do it right. Like, if the boys paid attention at all, I think we could have prevented that because he kind of messes it up, but still managed to pull it off. So anyway, Logic dies, don't release. Spicy, panicking, releases his body, respawn in the hideout of Bloco next to the territory, and like there's 20 seconds before. That's like 15 to 20 seconds before the GVG starts. So he starts running outside the hideout, barely makes it in time, like 2 or 3 seconds before the GVG starts. We get in there with, a healer with 2 sets left, a full tilted team, and the full pressure, and we're facing, I think, is Yabim and Krakeny and a good team on the other side anyway, and which we've beaten the week before. Like we've done, like we put them 14-1 in level 8 the week before, so we were super confident. Like that was probably the best matchup we could have gotten. Like,
yeah, that's the one fighting, that you can beat. That's the guys you just said, go home, son, you need to go practice, go watch a VOD.
So you match up with Goof, you match up with Derek's team, or you match up with I mean Cargera's team
Mhm.
or whatever. In level 9, you know it's gonna be rough. You know you're gonna have to fight hard and whatever. But we matched with the guys that we were pretty confident that we could be, and then this happened. And then after, I believe we like kind of win the first engage, and then it goes down. Like Logic whips out the Pike. I think he runs out of sets of
Oh, no.
Dead Giver sets, so like he whips out a Pike, and like we lose, and we barely lose it. Like it's not like a super big loss. We lose it maybe 6-2 with,
Mhm.
and then it's a little capping issue and whatnot, but super tense. Like the stress level was super high. So yeah, and that was the the story of our level 9 in season 9.
Was that the end of your 5v5 team? Was that stress so much that it cracked you guys as a team?
We definitely took a break after that, as you can imagine. Like
that's a good way to say.
I believe like I've taken a break after that. I got a kid after that, so like I haven't played in season 10. It's my 4th kid, by the way. So
well, you know,
big family.
Good job. You're doing a good job. There you go. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. So
one more, you get a basketball team, you know.
No, I was trying to make my own GVG team, you know.
Oh, okay, that works. Yeah. Well, at least the other 4 that you need for your team, you know, they can carry you.
No, I'm bench. I'm getting too old. My reflexes are bad. I'm just gonna coach, you know.
Oh, so there you go. I get it. Coaching is good. Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, season 10, Luke's plays with other team. Spicy goes to another team, etc. The boy still plays, you know, but I'm just not part of the deal. And then season 11, we make a comeback, and then season 11 is when, you know, winter comes again, and then the frogs are alive. So so we come together again, drop an hideout in Drawdenfield Sink. Under Blue Army's grace, you know, I had a lot of friends from Rang and a lot of friends from GVG. So like, talk to Dell, talk to Mojo. They let us drop an hideout in Sink, and, you know, free of charge, just like friendly stuff. And we lived there for like 1 season. Have a lot of fun during that season, like pushing for points, trying to make raid, you know, the big raid guild, which had like 3 full guilds back in the days.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a big one. Yeah, it was the coalition push was going on with raid.
I think it was pre-Dats guild, right? So our fun was to make their life a nightmare. So take their outposts, kill their mage, do stuff like that. Just like we're like a band of 20 bandits doing stuff in the middle of the Black Zone and having fun. So yeah, that's how we kind of, you know, started playing more and more in the Black Zone over the time. And then we sort of disbanded again around season 12.
Because it was summer?
Yeah, around, you know, April, stuff like that. And then we kind of went our separate ways that time. Some people went to, what was Melee Guild? Prelude. Yeah, a bunch of French guild there and there. So I think it was Prelude. Didn't last too long, but still people went there. A lot of frogs got there anyway. And I'd say just before they announced the Avalonian Surge season, we knew there was a kind of, you know, there was a rework coming to small scale stuff in the Black Zone. And that really, you know, that speaks to us directly, because we don't have a big mass to, you know, go fight the all-out wars and stuff, and we're not really interested in that stuff anyway. So like, we've gone from, you know, maybe 5-10 people and just roaming from the title days to like 20 people when we were playing in Drownfield Sink. And now Avalonian Surge season comes, like the Energy Surge season comes, we move to Merlin's Rest, and we start like playing Black Zone content more and more, contesting, you know, smaller alliances and stuff. So this is all we got like here today.
Yeah, and there seems like there's a lot of you smaller guilds and alliances out there, you know, ones that aren't part of large coalitions and large alliances of thousands of people that are now fighting for this overworld content that's there. You have a lot of it. You have the crystals and the power cores and the energy vortexes and the treasure chests, and combining that with what was already there with the towers and the castles, you're just seeing and the open world bosses, you're just seeing a lot more of these smaller groups get really good content. And you were saying before that it's not even about the CTAs with you guys, it's that in between CTA content, that just constant content of being out there and playing together that has really given your guild a bit of new life. It's really brought you guys into what you feel like is what you've always wanted for your guild.
Yeah, it's really not about CDAs, because in Mighty Frogs we don't have mandatory CDA at all. Like, there's 0 of them. If you come to the content, it's because you're down to fight. You know, like, you want to do something. And this is where I think why the vibe is so great in our guild. We have no CDAs. We have no taxes. We loot split every activities we do. We don't we don't force you to donate your stuff after ZVZ. You share it with your friends. You know, I think that's the kind of vibe we want to have in the guild. We don't force people to come to content. Like, if you don't want to come to the content, just don't come. Just go gather, go fame farm, do whatever you want to do. You know, like, if you don't want a PvP, you don't have to. Of course, we're trying to, you know, get people, like, recruit people that have similar mindset to ours. But that it's nice because I feel like we don't have to force. Like, this is a funny thing about, I don't know if it's Albion or only my community, but anyway, this is the thing. We try to do mandatory stuff in season 11. Okay, we tried to, like, push for points. We ended up like 14 on the leaderboard with, like,
Damn, that's
I think
pretty good.
112k points.
Yeah, but what did that do to your guild pushing like that?
So that's the funny part. Like, we had about 60 people online at all time, or 70 people online.
Oh, damn.
I could barely mass 20 people. People were annoyed as hell. Like, they didn't want to come. Even though we had, like, regearing program. Even though, like, I had a lot of people come to play in my guild because we were even regearing, you know, in the Olafall meta, we were regearing level 2s with Olafall sets and stuff. They were, like, coming, playing GVGs, running, like, solo dungeons in sync, and not come, you know, to any kind of open world PvP stuff because they didn't feel like it. And also, like, with 20 people back then, it was pretty hard to get anything done at all because they're just
you needed so many more guys. So even if you could get 20 guys together, that wasn't enough to handle the content that was available because you're going to run into groups of 80 to 100 to 200, 400 guys.
Exactly. So when we decided to reform during the ABBA search season, Luke and I had a talk and we said, you know what? Throw that logistic in the garbage. We're not going to do any of that. We're not going to press for donation. We're not going to push for any kind of that stuff. We're just going to make content. We're going to invite people, tell them, like, you know, if you come, get ready to die like a man, and then that's it. You know, like, you're not going to get gear back. If you get gears because we win, you played well, and you're going to have your share of the loot. That's
Damn. Okay. All right. This is not about some guild objective that we're all going to. This is because we're pirates. We're going out there to loot. We only win if we all win. Okay. All right.
So, and like you say, there's not really objective, but there are. We push for objectives. Like, we want people to be active, not just at CDA timers. We want people to, like, if, say, I see a purple core right now on my map, I just make a call. You know, I'm going to have, like, 30 people join my party instantly. Like, not 30 because it's capped, but you know what I mean? Like, tons of people is going to rush in for that core because they want to help the guild. Now in this guild, there's no CDA, and I have, I'd say, 80-90% participation in events just because they're not forced to do it. They come for fun. They come because they want to be here, and that makes the entire difference. They gear up because they want to win. They don't gear up because they're getting money back on the other side, like with regears and stuff. You know, like, they just want to come. They just want to participate. They want to be with us, and they're enjoying it. We have an amazing shot caller that takes care of us. We do 1 call per day most of the time, and we don't do more than that. The rest of the content, like, it's organic. It's stuff that happens on the fly. There's a core there. All right, let's like do a quick mass for it. There's a little tornado there. Let's go get it, or let's try to contest it. Stuff like that, you know, like chest spawning. There's so many nice small scale objectives in the Black Zone now, and the fact that everybody can, like, participate to. I like the fact that they changed a game where individual stuff is rewarded, but also, like, collective effort is needed for objectives. Like, it's such a good like balance.
Mhm.
So everybody feels rewarded for their participation, and like the guilds being pushed up by everybody's participation. It's really nice to see what they've done with this patch anyway, and it's given us like a tremendous momentum. I've gone from massing 20 people in Evelodian Search season to massing like 60 people for CDA's prime time. So I think the game enabled us to grow that much, you know.
That's great to hear, because I think that was the objective with a lot of these changes, was to allow guilds like yours to succeed and to feel like they're being successful by having the content available to them in sizes that are manageable for guilds like yours and the majority of guilds in the game, because there's only a few entities out there that could play the old game, to play it the way that it was. But now I'm seeing so many mid-tier guilds, guilds, the mass under 100 players, having success. And not just having success, they're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. They're finding that the content is what they've been hoping for. And while, I've heard some people complain about certain rewards or this isn't working the way they want, the vast majority of it is the gameplay loops are good. The loop that's in front of us, the what we get to do and then do next and then do after that is in a good pacing, and that's great to hear. And I think that's, from my perspective, that's fantastic, and I'm really happy to hear it. Are there any players out there you want to give shout outs to? I believe we figured out who your shot caller was over there in Fricks.
Yeah, the shot caller from Fricks was Fluffer Pope. Fluffer, my guy.
I feel a little bad about missing that one. It took us some time. We figured it out.
Yeah, I definitely want to shout out to some of my boys. I want to say Dominicus. He's the shot caller here for Mighty Frogs. Always taking his time to prep the comms, do an amazing job. He's screaming louder than Sarge in his microphone, and I can tell you, man, that hype is real. If you ever speak to any French guy out there, they all know his name. He's like, to me, he's like one of the best shot caller we have, and we're enjoying the game a lot. I want to thank my partners in crime for being with me in this adventure, and I hope that we still go strong. Luke High Power, I mean, he's the guy that works from the shadow, doesn't talk a lot, but does the entire difference in the guild. I want to say thanks to Ciel, and shout out to Ciel, man. Ciel Blanc is one of the OG Blue Army player. He's been with the Frogs for a long time. He's he's French from France, and he stays up late at night, plays with us, create guides, it's always there for the new folks. He's an amazing guy. Yeah, I mean those are definitely like the core the leaders, the face of the guild, I'd say. Big shout out to them. Of course, I could name like a lot of people, but I can't name them all.
Well, it sounds like you've got a great core of players there and that you guys have been very successful. And the most important thing is having fun as a guild and staying together over time. Maybe, a number of guilds over the years, but it seems like you've all gotten back together and are playing together and having a great time doing it in a peak situation. So congratulations. Thank you, Rigdalot, for joining me today for this interview. I wish you and the Mighty Frogs the absolute best, and I hope to see you and your 5v5 team back in the Crystals someday.
I think I'm retired, but it doesn't mean you'll never see another Mighty Frogs team again. But thank you very much, Shozen, for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. Have a great night, man.
You too.